One of the transmitters that we have in our district is called a Roger Pen. I generally supply this to students who are in middle school and high school because it's a little bit more subtle than the one for the elementary age kids. One of the difficulties with the middle school and high schoolers is that they tend not to want to use their equipment so much because it makes them stand out. Understandable. So we try to go with something that's a little bit more subtle. At any rate, this is the Roger Pen, and it has a clip on here so that you can wear it on your shirt, or you can wear it in a pocket, or you can wear it on this handy dandy lanyard that it comes with. It's a magnetic clip like this, and you just slip it into the spot like that. You want it to be 6 to 8 inches from your mouth, so just kind of do this with your hand and put it on your chin, and that will get you about the right amount. You don't want to clip this onto your belt or onto pant loop or something like that, because that would be too far away. At any rate, let me tell you about this. On the side, it has a power button. There are actually 3 buttons here, and they're really small, so you might not be able to see them on this video, but the top one is the power button. You press this power button, and it makes it, oh, I pressed it into mute section. Anyway, it makes it blink green. If you want to mute it, you push it again, and it blinks purple, as you can see, or maybe not. Anyway, to take it off of mute, you just push it again, and it should go back to green. The button underneath this is a picture of like a chain, and it's a link. So that's how you're going to sync the receiver with the transmitter. Chances are I will have done this for you before you get it. And you won't have to do it every day, because once devices are synced together, they recognize each other. But every once in a while they fall apart, and it's part of troubleshooting. So you would take the child's receiver and put the transmitter down on top of it so it's touching, and you would just push the link button, and it will do a different kind of blink of a different color, and then it will come back to green, and you'll know that it's done. On this side, there is a telephone answer and hang up button, and we don't encourage that, of course, during school. What else do you need to know about this? How about charging it? It comes with a base like this, and at the bottom of this is a really small triangle, and at the top of this hole there is also a really small triangle. So you just line up these 2 triangles and push it in here. This base has 2 holes over here. One is to fit a mini USB like this, and you push it in here, and you plug the other end in to the wall. You should just establish a place where the child is going to charge their device every day. You can charge this device without damaging the internal battery, so anytime the child is absent, or it's over a weekend, or over a holiday, just leave it plugged in. In the morning, they should take it off of the charging dock, and they're good to go for the day. If your student is really reluctant to use this, because their responsibility is going to be to hand it to you, to take it away from you at the end of their class period, and take it to another teacher, and take it back, and carry it with them and hand it to teachers all day. Sometimes students aren't willing to do that. One of the things they can do, you can suggest, though it's not the first line of defense, because it's not a really great strategy, is ask them to put it on their shirt, or to them to wear it. And then they're in charge a little bit more, and it's a little less obvious. But back to you. You wearing this is the optimal thing. There are 2 different ways to connect this to a phone, or a tablet, or a computer. So there's a USB port down here, mini USB port, and this cord has the mini USB in one side, and it has a headphone jack in the other. So you could plug this transmitter into the cord and take the other end of the cord and plug it into the device in the headphone jack. And that way it'll take the information from the computer or the tablet or the phone and amplify it through the transmitter and put it directly into their ears. That's a pretty slick way to do it. The other way is to have the device in the charging port and use this double-ended headphone jack so that you can put the jack into the headphone thing here and plug this into the headphone there. Another thing to know about this, other students can use it, and your students should be fairly independent in their use of this by the time they've gotten this age-wise. But they'll, especially middle school, need some prompting, and probably beginning high school as well. This comes with a nice little carrying case that they can put it in, take it out of. So a word about muting. This has really terrific range. So if you are wearing this and your student has their receivers on, they're going to hear everything. So if you have really clanky jewelry, it's going to be interfering with the signal. If you are going to have a private conversation on the phone, you should push the mute button. If you're going to have a private conversation with a student that doesn't involve your student with hearing loss, you should push the mute button. If you're going to go conference with somebody in the hallway, push the mute button. If you're going to conference with somebody down the hallway, a ways, on a different floor, push the mute button. If you are going to use the restroom, please push the mute button. Because if this mute button is not pushed, your student with their receiver is going to hear everything that happens. So please push the mute button. When it is vertical like this, it is in this kind of solitary microphone mode. So it's taking your voice and putting it through its processor and sending it directly to the receiver, which is then sending the message directly to your child's ear. If you lie this down, like so, it goes into small group mode. So if your student is working with with 4 or 5 students or 2 students or whatever, you can have this just in the middle of the table and it will pick up the voices in the immediate vicinity. So that's a nice feature for us since there's so much time spent working in small groups. And then you can get your students' attention in another way. But then remember to take this back when you take it out of small group mode. In order to turn it off, you push and hold down the power button until you get a red blink, and then it will turn itself off. And that's what there is to know about the Roger Pen.